Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. Now let's jump right into today's topic. Today we are going to review Action Bass for the Sony PlayStation or the PS1. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can you review a fishing game? Actually, over the next couple weeks, I'm going to review a couple different fishing games. But I figured, if we're going to talk about a fishing game, then we might as well go for the cream of the crop. Probably one of the best ones that you will find on the Sony PlayStation. So when you pop this game in, you have several options that you can choose from. You can choose from, basically your options are like there's an arcade mode, pretty much, where it's timed. That's what I call it, an arcade mode. And then, of course, there is just your standard, you can go out and you can just relax and fish kind of thing. But you have several maps that are already available. And, it's pretty straightforward. You just cast your line and fish. As for the graphics for this game, the graphics are actually really impressive. I mean, this game did come out in July of 2000, so technically it is 20 years old at this point. It actually came out July 27th, 2000. But the graphics for the time were pretty impressive, compared to, let's just say the graphics were pretty awesome compared to, say, other fishing games that were released. Now, of course, Sega had Sega Fishing, or I should say Sega Bass Fishing, and honestly, it's somewhat a clone of it. Of course, with fishing games, there's not much variation, but it does have a very Sega Bass Fishing feel to it. Of course, Sega Bass Fishing originally came out for arcades, and then it got a PC release, and then of course it got a Dreamcast release in 1999. But for a fishing game on Sony PlayStation, this one is actually really impressive, and this is one that I fondly remember playing growing up. I actually remember in, I believe it was April of 2001, this game was one that I picked out from a local Toys R Us, and it was one that I could say I proudly owned. It was one that I frequently played. It was one that my family sat down and frequently played. It's just one of those games that it's fun to just sit around and relax for an evening or relax for an afternoon or whatever, whenever, and just play it. Compared to some of the other fishing games on PS1, this one is one of the best that you will find, and you won't find a better one for PlayStation 1, I promise you. And it was developed by Take-Two Interactive, so that's a plus. So if I had to give this game a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I can't remember what my grading scale was before. We'll just say 1 to 10. I gotta give this one a 10. It is great. If you love PlayStation 1 games, even if you don't like fishing games, this is a must-have for your collection. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.